Mr. T here for another ranking video. So, I started a new mini series, and I'm gonna be posting some videos from this and some non-Pokemon videos and bouncing back and forth and things like that. So, if you haven't already seen it, I posted the Stage 3 starter video already. So go watch that one because I'm only gonna do a quick refresher of the rules here. That one actually explains the rules for it. So I know I was going to do grass, water, fire of stage 3 and then do the stage 1s, but I thought, you know what, let's do stage 3 and stage 1 for the same type and go from there. So, really quick recap of the rules. If you want a more detailed explanation, go watch the stage 3 video for grass, but basically, I'm ranking all the stage 3s and all the stage 1 Pokemon of all the starters. So all 9 generations of starters. And I'm not doing stage 2 because, again, the stage 2 is, well, no one really truly loves the stage 2 Pokemon. They're always just trying to pass through them to get to stage 3. And if you love a stage 2 Pokemon, I'm sorry for your loss. So we just did the stage 3 for grass. Now we're going to go ahead and do the stage 1 for grass. And again, these videos are based on that Pokemon specifically, not any of its evolutions. So the way these Pokemon are ranked, if I added the whole evolution line, some of them might change up a bit, but this video is only based on the stage 1 grass starter. So let's dive in. So my number 9, or my least favorite grass starter, is Chespin. I don't know. Kalos is always kind of those where I love Gen 6, but Kalos always kind of got pushed to the side because because the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire, which are my favorite Pokemon games of all time, those remakes came out in the same generation. So I always forgot about Gen 6 for Kalos and just went to Ruby and Sapphire. So the starters for Gen 6 are always kind of a little lower on my list. And I don't know. What is he? Is he a pack rat? Is he a mouse? He looks weird. I'm not a fan of his overall design. He almost looks like he's like a copy of like 3 different Pokemon wearing like a poncho or something. So I'm just not a big Chespin fan. And again, nothing against Chespin. He just came out one of those periods where I had just gotten back into Pokemon after a little hiatus where I wasn't getting too into him because of Black and White and Black 2 and White 2. And then when I did really get back into the Kalos or to Gen 6, again, it was Ruby and Sapphire that dominated my life in Gen 6, not the Kalos. So, yeah. Now, my number 8 is Rowlet. Now, I don't hate Rowlet. He's a cute little owl Pokemon. He's not bad. I'm not an Alola Gen 7 fan, and again, I do like his higher evolutions. Decidueye is pretty cool, and all that, and I don't hate the Alola, especially recently because my son's been watching the series, and the series is pretty cool. Just Rowlet on his own, he's kind of boring and bland almost. That's really the only thing that dings him and gets him lower on my list. Now, for my number 7 is Sprigatito. All right, I'm sure I butchered that. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. But Sprigatito, I don't hate Sprigatito. I actually like it. It's a cute little cat. I'm not a cat guy at all, and this one's kind of a cute cat. Plus, some of the nicknames for him are kind of funny. I'm not going to repeat those on a video because I don't want YouTube to kick me off. But it's a cool Pokemon, and I like Paldea. I think it gets a bad rap. I think it gets, more hate than it deserves. Paldea starters are really cool, especially Fuecoco and Quaxly. Awesome Pokemon. The only reason Sprigatito got so low on the list isn't because it's bad. It's just the other ones on the list are a little bit better. That's really the biggest thing it comes down to. I mean, maybe I could have put Sprigatito as 6, but I'm not a cat guy. That did ding it a little bit. So, yeah. So, now, my number 6 is Snivy. Snivy, however you want to say it. Again, I'm not a big fan of Unova and Gen 5. I mean, I've been coming back into it recently. I replayed Pokemon Black and White. Reshiram and them are cool, and Kyurem are cool. And I do like the new Black Bolt and White Flare set that came out, but I just never got into it at the time. And I think it's because when Pokemon Black and White came out, and then Black 2 and White 2, it broke the tradition of having a third game that combined the two, and that kind of hit me. Plus, it was the era where I was really big into Call of Duty and Halo and stuff, so that kind of took over a little bit. So Snivy or Snivy, he's not high on my list, or his game's not high on my list, but he looks cool. I mean, look at him, that little mischievous face and the big giant eyes and everything. He just looks like a cool, fun little Pokemon. But he does kind of remind me of Trico, and it almost looks like a copy of Trico. It's kind of like when someone asks to borrow your homework, but you say sure, and then but change it up a bit so no one knows you're copying. That's kind of what Snivy looks like, and that's really the whole Unova Gen 5. This isn't a theory. They actually came out and admitted it. It was a rehash of Pokemon to bring the old fans back in and to get new fans in. So that's why most Pokemon in Gen 5 are actually copies or reskins of earlier Pokemon, most of which were Gen 1, but yeah. Now, for my number 5, I know I'm going to get flack for this, for putting this Pokemon so low. But honestly, I almost put him lower than Snivy. But yeah, and that's Bulbasaur. I know some people, of the 3 starters, Bulbasaur, statistically, not my opinion, statistically is the lowest. Bulbasaur and then Venusaur don't match the numbers of Charmander and Squirtle and then Blastoise and Charizard. The reason that doesn't feel right is because when you meet a Bulbasaur fan, that's their life. I mean, they go out of their way to make sure you know that they're a Bulbasaur or a Venusaur fan. And they are the loudest of the fans when it comes to these guys. And again, I know you're saying, well, what about Charizard? Charizard fans are just trying to survive because of all the hate you give us, okay? I know that better than anyone. Bulbasaur fans are like, well, Bulbasaur's the greatest, and it gets overbearing. I'm sorry, but it does. So Bulbasaur, I mean, he's a cute Pokemon, don't get me wrong. But I've never liked Bulbasaur. And again, I don't want to say I never liked him, because I do like him. He is a cool Pokemon. He's a solid Pokemon. And he would be high on a list if I did rank a full list of all the Pokemon in the world. I'm never going to do that because there's over 1,000 of them, and that would just be minutia. But he is higher on my list overall. I think there's a lot of better Pokemon out there, especially starters, just across the board. Grass, water, fire, and all of them. I always joke and I say my biggest failure as a father is my son's favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm not a Bulbasaur fan or a Venusaur fan. I'm actually less of a Venusaur fan. I don't like Venusaur, as you heard from my last video. But yeah, so now for my top 4, my number 4 is Turtwig. I like Turtwig. He's a cute little turtle. I like his little leaf, his little smile, and then whenever he's around Piplup and Chimchar, he always strikes me as the just go with the flow kind of guy. Plus the Sinnoh region is one of my favorite regions, and I like Turtwig. He's cute, he's funny looking, he's got that cute little twig on his head, and he's just an all-around cool Pokemon. Now for my top 3, my third is Grookey. I love Grookey. Grookey is great. Galar in Gen 8 is one of my more favorite Pokemon regions. And Grookey is just cool. I love his design. I love the monkey side and his intro video when he first shows up in the game, how he's climbing in the tree and then falls out. It's so cute and so funny. So Grookey is just a solid Pokemon all around. I love his design and I love his personality both in the game and in the TV series. Now, for those of you who know me, you probably know who number 1 is. Maybe not, maybe. But my number 2 is Treecko. Treecko, and then my number 1, which is Chikorita, which if you've been paying attention, you would have already used Process of Elimination. But Treecko and Chikorita are the only 2 grass starters that are my favorite for that region. None of the other grass starters beat out their fire or water counterparts. Maybe some of them might beat out the water, but none of them beat out the fire counterparts. Every other generation, I like the fire and water better than the grass. Treecko and Chikorita are the exception. Treecko generally is over Torchic. Blaziken is generally over Sceptile. But Treecko I like better than Torchic and Mudkip. Chikorita, hands down, I like better than Cyndaquil and Totodile. And then Meganium, as you heard in my last video, Meganium I like better than Typhlosion and Feraligatr. So I'm so glad Chikorita is being brought back in Legend ZA as one of the starters. Anyone who knows me knows who I'm picking for my first playthrough as my starter in that game. But yeah, Treecko, and then again, my number 1 is Chikorita. I love these Pokemon. I've loved them since day 1, and it's so funny because everyone always used to be the Typhlosion Typhlosion fan for Gen 2, and then that stuff came out last year about Typhlosion, and I'm not going to go into details because I really will get kicked off YouTube. But ever since then, I'm like, yes, because I've always been a vocal Chikorita and Meganium fan, and people have always laughed at that, but now I feel vindicated after that crap about Typhlosion came out. So stay tuned for my next video. I know I said water would be next, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it consistent, so I'm just going to put fire on there next. So stay tuned. My fire stage 3 will be coming out soon. You all know who number 1 is going to be on that. I know. But my fire stage 1, pay close attention to that because it's not who you think is going to be number 1 for my stage 1 video. So stay beautiful, Americans. Stick tuned for the fire videos, and stay tuned for some of the other ranking videos I got coming out soon. And yeah, peace out.